This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome District 1 to our Vice Governor Candidates Forum. With me today we have candidates Tim Natyshak from the Tilbury Kinsmen and Eileen George from the Fort Erie Kinets. Welcome and thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
All right, we'll roll right into the first question. Briefly introduce yourself and describe the strengths that you personally will bring to the role of District Governor. And you guys can fight it out, whichever one of you would like to answer first, but we would like to hear from both of you.
You can go first, Ellie.
Okay, my name is Eileen George. As Karen introduced me, I am a member of the Fort Erie Kinets. I have been in kin for just over 10 years now. I have held various roles in the club, including president a couple of times, right down to as treasurer this year. I've also been on two other zone teams, as well as being deputy governor for 2 years. I've had plenty of exposure to different kin in the district level, which has given me valuable information that I will bring forward. And that's about it. Tim?
Yeah, like Karen said, I'm Tim Natyshak from Tilbury Kinsmen Club. Like everybody else in the leadership role multiple times. I'm 10 years in, just over 10 years in on kin. And last year I was the CF service director with B. Crowley out of the London Kinet Club. We enjoyed our year. We got to meet a lot of people, and it was a lot of fun. And also currently I'm on the 2020 National Committee, Service Committee, working on projects for our upcoming 2020 year. So thanks.
Excellent. Next question. And again, I'd like to hear from both of you. What made you decide to run for vice governor this year?
I'll start with this one. Again, being 10 years into the role, I spent a lot of time learning and being mentored, and I have been mentored. It was just a natural progression for me to want to move into this role. So here we are. I thought it was the right time for me, and at the time I was looking for a partner, and I've known Eileen for almost all those 10 years, and I thought we would be a good fit together, and we talked about it, discussed it, and came up with a plan and some team members that we'd like to have, and here we are moving forward, hopefully going to be elected in shorter than a month's time.
I pretty much agree with what Tim said. Having been in kin now for 10 plus years, for me, it has a lot to do with what I've seen at the district level, the people that I've seen in the positions, and wanting to be able to fulfill that goal of mine. Why is it now? Now because to me, it's the right time in my life. Many of you know my kids are gone; they're growing up, so I have the time to devote to it, and I want the experience. I want to see like possibly where I could go from here after that. So now seemed to be a good time. When Tim approached me, I was thrilled. We have been kin friends for, like he said, 10 plus years now, and it just seemed to be a right fit for the two of us. One of the things that we were very happy about was the fact that we kind of covered both the whole district. So he's from one end and I'm from the other end. So it's going to allow us to help all the clubs all around and make sure that the service is there for them to help them with any of their issues or problems, and to be at their events as well.
Thank you. Okay, this is a question. I posted it as it was submitted. So please, your best interpretation. What is the difference between fellowship and education versus mentorship and new member retention, and how exactly do you intend to make your promise or goal attainable?
I can take the first part of that one, Eileen, if you want.
Yeah, sure.
The difference between fellowship and education. Last year in my role as a CF service director, I did a lot of fellowship and a lot of different events with different clubs throughout our district, from Lucknow over to Port Dover to everywhere in between. anybody that wanted me for events, I'd come out and help out. And it was fellowship at these events that usually happens. You're working an event, but it's in a different setting than your meetings, where you're learning different things put out by national or your club or your district. So the difference for me is one is based on your learning that you've taken in from seasoned members, from leadership people throughout your association. And the other one is just getting together, helping out at events and having some fun after.
As for the membership and new member retention, in mentorship, we're all mentoring. We're all mentoring each other in different ways. And it could even be from a new member coming in who bring in experiences with them. They're going to mentor us on new ideas and such that can benefit the clubs. Membership retention, well, I feel personally that we have an awful lot of people in this district that are very good at that. They have the ability to get the message out there and make sure that the clubs know the best ways to keep membership. Obviously, it is about work that we do. It's about the helping our community's greatest need, but it's also about fun we have and the fellowship that we have. So mentorship is something that is a day-to-day thing that we all do. New member retention, it's providing everybody the best experience they can possibly have.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. Go
well,
ahead.
The last part of that, Karen, how do we intend to make our goal attainable? There's really no metric for doing that. All you can really do is look at our past history and what we've done in the last few years in kin, and be confident that we'll continue doing what we've been doing for the last few years, or else we wouldn't be in this position. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, who do you have on your proposed district executive?
Well,
list here.
We haven't announced anybody yet. We're kind of doing it as a little bit of a surprise, and I've been sending them out. We do have our coordinator, again, I haven't put her out yet, is Melissa Wedham. She's the one that she's going to be working with Tim and I in her role. She's our kind of our right-hand person. Our secretary is going to be Lori Schnarr, who has got district experience. And hopefully this will put her forward to possibly take over the role in a few years or a year to come, if she's interested. We have Brenda Deneen, who's bringing in valuable experience as the club support. We asked her to stay on because we think that, especially where the association is now, continuity is going to be a valuable asset. And any clubs that are having difficulties or need help, having someone that takes the position for more than 1 year, they can continue focusing on what they were working with the clubs. Paul Durden is our treasurer. He has been district level before. He seemed to be very excited about the position, which makes us very happy because it's a very vital position on the executive. Tim, you can do some of the other ones.
We got Jay Vaughn. He's out of my club here in Tilbury. We've been mentoring him. He's DG this year, and we put him on the list for awards and risk management. He's a future person that has expressed to me that he wants to move into the vice governor's role eventually. He's got a young son at home, so he's not in a big hurry, but he will be looking to move up. We have Kim Marie Lesperance, who is, again, she's DG over in her zone this year. I don't think she's ever sat on the district executive, and we've teamed her up with a seasoned member, Deborah Flagg, to take on the CF role. Debbie's always wanted to do that. So we have a new person in that role and an experienced person working together in that capacity. What do we have? Communications. John Mose, we're looking at John Mose. He's expressed interest in kind of stepping up into the district. So we're looking forward to working with John. Who else?
I think that's them all, isn't it?
Secretary.
Oh, I said secretary, Laura Schnarr.
Yeah.
Yeah, coordinators, treasurer, secretary. We got all those ones covered. So that's it.
Yep. And it takes a while to get the hang of them. I still stop and think and whether I've missed anyone when I'm running through my list of executives. So,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you for that. Okay. What ideas or steps do you think your team can provide to help clubs get their November 15th deadlines, including the criminal record check, done on time?
Well, I think reminding them the importance of deadlines and why they're there, the significance of them. Obviously, if anybody needs help getting them done, needs help figuring out how to fill out forms, getting the police checks done, I would like to see that possibly some zones set up like a class, an evening, and pretty much everybody can do the police record check while they're there and have fellowship as it goes on, so that we know that everybody that needs to get them done but maybe is not computer savvy, doesn't feel comfortable using the computers to get it done, we can get them all done at once. The November 15th deadline is vital to kin, and the clubs need to realize that's the deadline. It's no different than personal stuff when you have deadlines. It's a business, we have to have them done. Tim?
Unfortunately, in that November 15th deadline, you got to rely on your DGs to get out there and keep reminding the different clubs to get their paperwork in. I mean, our clubs, we've all been in the same position. My clubs has been late many times, and I know what a pain it is. So all we can do is foster that to our DGs, and hopefully we can get the message out for them to get it in. And the criminal record checks, I think, is going to become a little bit easier now that we can use back checks, and it's more cost effective for the clubs to use this. We've used it in our club, and it was really quite simple and cost effective again. I think the problem is the way the whole program was rolled out, and now members are kind of disgruntled and being told they have to do this. It's the way it is, unfortunately, and it's the way times are now. So we're just going to have to get it done, and through back checks, and hopefully at FLC for any of them that don't have it done by then, the governor's team of the day will provide a quick session on how to get this done.
Thank you. Okay, we need new younger members in the clubs to ensure the clubs survive and continue. Any ideas?
Well,
I'd like
we're
to
in this
start that
position.
one. Sorry if you don't mind, because our club is a perfect example of that. I brought my daughter in, and my daughter has since brought in 3 other new people. These 3 girls are all under the age of 30. They all range between, I think, 22 and 28. So it's getting the pull of the first few in, and then they see what we're all about. They see the fun we have. They see the work we do and what we do for our communities. And starting now and getting them to give back is such a beneficial thing. Like the 2 sisters that we have in our club, they're thriving in it, and they're doing so well. They've picked it up so easily, and they're always talking about, oh, maybe we should bring that person in. So I think getting those few new younger people in will help domino into clubs getting younger people in and making sure the clubs do survive.
Yeah, right. The only way to get people in is you got to ask them. 90% of the time, people are not looking to run out and join a service organization that eats up their hours and costs them money. They want to be a part of something, but you got to get out there and ask them. And we have a few in our club right now, younger guys, and they're starting to bring in some of their friends, and we are mentoring them, and they are having fun. One of the key is to have fun doing it. I traveled around with the club support director this year. There is some programs in place put by the district that are very useful, and there's some money there for some clubs that can put on some events to help bring in some of these younger people. So there is stuff out there, but the biggest thing is talk to people and invite them.
That's right.
Thank you. Okay, why do you think clubs aren't submitting their accredited delegate forms, and what do you plan to do to help increase the percentage being submitted?
I think there's a problem with the way voting is. I mean, that's a whole different issue, but I don't know, clubs are feeling disengaged. We have to re-engage them. Election years like this year, we're up against another team. It makes things a little bit more exciting when there is things to vote on at convention. So we have to make it a little bit more exciting and just get the word out. That's a tough one, but I see the numbers are coming up right now, so we're not too far off the average. So
I think, sorry, Tim, I think we also, with our platform based on fellowship, I think that by encouraging the zones to do more stuff together so that clubs aren't so isolated. We have clubs in our zone that don't intermix with the other clubs, and I think that's very important. And then they'll talk, and if people that do go to FLC or to Spring Convention, they'll be able to tell these clubs, well, you know what, your vote does matter, and getting the word out there, but using fellowship to do that so that clubs that don't put in their AD forms will say, well, hang on a second, I guess maybe we do need to start putting these in and having either a delegate or going ourselves to these conventions, which again is a domino effect that we could end up with more people at conventions as well.
Okay, thank you. And closing statements.
That's me. I'm going to read it for both Tim and I apologize that I am going to read it, but okay, so like many teams before us, our goal is to leave the district better than we found it. We plan to help strengthen it as we enter our second century of serving our community's greatest need. We believe that our platform, our desire to strengthen ties and bonds within individual clubs and zones through fellowship, does just that. It will require teamwork, and we will work with you to realize that goal. We also want to ensure to you that we realize that the role of governor is much more than just a title. It's a job where a large portion of the work completed is done behind the scenes. It is dealing with difficult situations and making difficult choices, so we as a district can continue to grow. We want to let you know we want the job, not just the title. We and our team bring the skill set needed to be successful at that job. We thank you for your time you've taken to listen, and we welcome your support. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time, and I know it was last minute, but I do appreciate, and I thank you on behalf of the district for taking the time to participate in this and answer the questions so that people can make an informed decision at convention. So have a wonderful long weekend, guys.
You too.
thanks, Karen.